Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For this video, I'm going to be talking about, I feel like one of the most harsh realities people with muscular dystrophy have to accept. I mean, every case is different. Some people walk till they're 12, 15, 16. I mean, for me, it was until I was 11. For some, they never walk. So there's different cases, but I'm gonna be focused for this video on those that you know muscular. They have muscular dystrophy, but they were in the case, the category I would call it category of walking. You know, like myself, I'm gonna read an article that I found. The article's name is, let me see, when you stop walking. But I switched the title for my I put my own title for this, you accepting the harsh reality of living with muscular dystrophy. So this is from a webinar talking about to change. So that's what I found. I'm gonna start with the article. The first part of the article says, when you stop walking. I asked both of my sons about the most important things we need to be sure we talk about during the live stream. The first thing my 16-year-old said, when you stop walking, and I agree, it's a huge one. So I'm reading off from what, how they started with la, what you may call it, the webinar. So this person talking about that she has two sons that, you know, they both have muscular dystrophy and stuff. My sample size is small. I can only talk about my only family experience, but we had two of those go around so far. My first son stopped walking at 12, so just like myself, I stopped walking around that age. My second stopped walking at 15. See, like it varies. Not everyone stops at 12. I used to think it was like 11 or 12 that they stopped walking, but I'm barely finding out that some walk longer. They have the same exact deletations, but very different kids. Exactly. You might have the same disability or a disability, but everyone sees their disability different, It's like when you don't have a disability, the same thing, You might have brothers and sisters and stuff, and all your siblings, like I said, your brother might be different, you're different, all your siblings are different, Not all kids are the same. So, same thing happens here, very different experience. It taught me that even though I'm a mom, a teenager with teen, there are different people. Exactly, you know. For those that have kids, each son daughter is different from. I don't have any siblings, but I see it with family members, people that I know that have siblings. Not necessarily have someone with muscular dystrophy, but just siblings. You see how one acts and the other one acts different. For my first son, I was new at this. I was very interested in trying to help him walk as long as possible, and I probably pushed him too long. He was trying to keep walking, probably more for my sake, and he was actually very relieved when he finally was able to be in the chair full time. He just felt safer. My second son would not use a scooter or anything to help him when he was getting ready to lose the ability to walk. Some people, it's hard for them to accept the reality of never walking again. So for me, it was more on how the first son was acting. For me, it was more like that. I was trying to walk as long as I could. I went on steroids and stuff, but it didn't really help and stuff. So I was more like the first son that they're talking about. He was falling on time, was really stubborn, and didn't want anyone to walk completely different from his brother. Exactly. Some people, it's hard for them. You don't want to rely on people to help you, but sadly, to how muscular dystrophy is, as older you get, you don't need more help and help and help. I was begging him to use the power chain. He would not until he was not able to walk anymore. See, so in my opinion, this is just my personal opinion. I feel like you have muscular dystrophy. I feel like it's much easier to transition from walking to being in a wheelchair if you accept that reality as soon as possible. Not saying it's easy. Not saying it's easy. It can be the hardest thing to do, So yeah, my second son mourns not being able to walk much more than my first. He still talks about waiting for escalating so that he can get up and walk away. He threatens that when he's mad at me, my first son does not talk about exocolestation. So I come back again and again. So sure, they have to change, but they're different people. We are all human beings, and we are experiencing the disease in our own way. Exactly, I agree with that because everyone sees different. You know, we might have the same disability, or like not just in disability. In the disability category, it can be any category. Maybe when you lose someone, a family member passed away, everybody grieves differently, and stuff. Everybody gets emotional. Everybody gets mad differently. Everybody's different in different aspects of life and different aspects of opinion. Now the psychology ready. It's important to recognize not only when someone's basically ready to transition to a chair, but when someone's psychically ready too. I remember going to a clinic and the people at the clinic were offer scooters and wheelchair, and my kids either did or didn't listen to them. Some of these transitions just depend on the personality of the kid. If I were to do that over with my son, I would have allowed him to use the chair more gradually, but he was nauseous. When I look back and retrospect, I had some ill convinced, kind of noting that I could somehow keep him walking long if I made him walk long, and that was not true. There are components there where school there if they're in school, the school will wait in because they're thinking about safety. I remember my younger son, they wanted him to use the scooter to cross the hallway so he wouldn't fall. He would ditch the scooter and he wouldn't listen to them. So yeah, again, it depends on your case. There's no harm in letting somebody use a chair more gradually. If it helps them feel comfortable, if that's the kind of person they are, it helps them. It really depends on what their personality is. Fear, grief, and relief. The other thing to recognize that there's often a sense of fear and relief around when somebody's getting ready to stop walking. Really scary time. I think sometimes somebody doesn't want to lose their sense of independency, so they try to walk, but they wobble and they fall and they can be knocked over easily. There's a fear in those things when you wobble and you can be knocked over and you can break bones. All of those things can happen in my family. Both my kids, that's really tough. That was my case. I mean, I didn't, when I started losing my walking ability, I mean, I wasn't stubborn to not use the chair, but I was using the chair already, but I can feel that like you will wobble, like they're saying here. They're also grief and losing that sense of who you are when you want to be a person who ambulatory. So there's a grief not having your body work the way you want it to work anymore, and having that to be a permanent thing. There's no way around that. Being grief, they're also really relief in starting to use a wheelchair that then gives you stability. So there are also aspects of fear, grief, and relief. Then the next part of the article is their world gets narrow. What I have seen and witnessed as these kids are growing older is a person usually feel like their world kind of gets narrow. Their friends or family that are the same age, they move in different directions. Exactly. I know what that means. For me, it's like I have a cousin my age. I feel I probably make a video talking about this. Reading this just got me a brain. I got my, the light bulb went off in my head. Because I have a cousin that's close to my age. We both have moved different directions. Maybe friends have girlfriends or get driver lessons. I mean, I've been a part of, like I'm saying, I have a cousin close to my age. He already done all that, but I never really, there's people who have muscular dystrophy that probably get upset when they see, like, they're seeing here friends and family be doing those things that I just read, you know? But for me, it's like, I just want to see, since I'm close with my cousins, and I just want to see him be successful and stuff. Like any person, any friends that don't have a disability, or any family member that I'm close with. I just want to see them successful. I never been like the type of one. I mean, oh, I hate you because you walk and I can't. No, honestly, it's like supporting. But it can be hard for some people. Some people will feel not, they feel like they're not the same as people like friends or family that are their same age. Because with you, when you have muscular dystrophy, your life is not, I'm not saying it's different, but it's a little more complicated, most of the things and stuff. Maybe friends have the ability to go apply easily for any job they want. I mean, maybe someone who was once a good body has now become a star in a sports team. Exactly. Like, it's not like people don't want to talk to you. Like, even if they're the same age, it can either be friends or family. But you have to understand this. They have to do, like they say. I like what they put. They move in different directions. They have to move in their own directions. We all choose a path we want to go on. Some people want to play sports, so that's your direction. Some people want to do this. Some people want to do that. But it can be harder for someone who has muscular dystrophy doing that. It's more complicated if you want to do things. Not saying it's not impossible, but complicated. My my sons both have talked about how they aware of that people see them different in a chair, especially in high school. I think they feel like the adults accept the term more reality. I think they feel like teenagers are a little bit more put off with the chair. Could be. I feel like I already passed that stage. Not saying everyone, but everybody sees. Everybody has their own opinion on seeing someone with a disability or someone with a chair. I think this is grief and what starts to feel like greater struggle still continuing through your high school years, still trying to carry on your academic load, but feeling a bit more isolated too, feeling like people are experiencing more physical independency while you're seeming less. So those are some of their realities. Exactly, people that don't have a disability, like I said, I don't hate people that don't have a disability. I'm not like, oh, you walk, I hate you. No. Or I won't talk to you because you walk. No. I mean, I respect like everybody has to do their own thing, go on their own directions, like I said. So that's why I'm gonna make a video talking about me and my cousin, going different directions, being the same age, but going different directions in life. Especially now, where we're both going. I'm going the YouTube route. He just moved in with his girlfriend, so we're both doing different things. I'm doing YouTube, making content. While he's doing that, working and stuff and doing all that stuff. Going with his friends everywhere, doing all that stuff. While I'm, doing a different path that I enjoy doing, which is YouTube and stuff. So yeah, I get where sadly those are the realities. It can be hard accepting them. Honestly, for me, it wasn't that hard accepting it, but for some, it is. So I just thought I'll talk little bit about that, when the headache hits. That's all sounds very sad, and honestly, it is very sad. And we really start to look at the situation, I think, well, what do you do about it? I'm a big believer in saying, what is the real? Let's start with the reality. Let's not code it. Let's understand it, and let's build from there. I remember from the first week he was in a wheelchair. My son was part of a group of buddies, and they have sleepover at their friend's house. I did that with my cousin, not friend. They didn't invite him because he couldn't get in the house. I remember the sorrow we all found. Unfortunately, these things happen. It would be wonderful if extended family and friends were just informed on the same page and only to adjust. But I don't know any of the children who has had the experience where everybody in their environment adjusts. I was thinking, it's people can't adjust to that because they don't have somebody with muscular dystrophy. It can be hard. Like for example, uh, they're not gonna have a accessible house because you need it. It's like they don't need it. Uh, I was thinking of something that I saw. Like, I mean, I know most of you know who Kevin Hart is. He was talking about like his dad. I mean, it's the truth, but he makes, he's comedian. Obviously, he's gonna make it entertaining. So like, his dad had an accident, and he was like, "I'm gonna come visit you," and stuff. And Kevin Hart was like, his dad was like, "Do you have a ramp, wheelchair ramp, or like accessible?" He's like, "Dad, I don't have. I don't need." He was like, "I don't need that because I don't have someone with a wheelchair." And his dad was on me. He's like, "You supposed to have it." He's like, It's kind of entertaining, but it's the reality. It's like, and he was like, I'm not trying to offend anybody, which he's not. It's obviously in reality, but he making it. I mean, it's the reality. It's like if you don't have nobody with a wheelchair, like he says, I don't have that because I don't have someone in a wheelchair. Stuff. So I thought I'd mention that. I mean, it's kind of the truth, but you know how comedy is. You make fun of things that are reality, but it's in reality it's the sad truth. But kind of entertaining, I'm not trying to offend anyone and stuff, but it's kind of true. Like I'm reading this. There's like people are not gonna judge because you have a wheelchair. Like in example, I give you guys that. Like even though he's had all this money and stuff, he doesn't have like that because like he said, which is true, is the right answer. I don't have someone in a wheelchair like every day. Like for me, I don't see family every day, so it's like what's the point of having accessible house and if they don't need it, why pay for something? I mean, it would be a good kind act. It would be like a caring act for your family member. That would be like a nice thing to do, but you have to think about it. It's like if I do that, it's a kind thing to do for your family member or friend, but it's like in the long run, I don't have someone in a wheelchair that needs these things. I think oftentimes that we need to help our teen with create different kinds of network that the ones that they started with. Often they lose those childhood friends and the childhood network that they once had. We may need to find more appropriate kinds of different like things they can do with youth groups maybe. I mean, find something you enjoy. I feel like finding things you enjoy despite having your disability. I feel like you can make more connections because everybody's not gonna focus on the wheelchair. They're gonna focus on your knowledge and stuff. Like for me, I mean, if you like sports, oh, we have something in common there. I can network with anybody who likes sports, anything like that. Sports, gaming, maybe, or just have some certain hobbies they like. That's how I feel like you can make connections despite having muscular dystrophy and stuff because you have somebody that won't look at your wheelchair, they'll look at you know, what you enjoy doing and stuff, your hobbies and stuff. For example, at church, our family has done workshops where we have able-bodied people experience what it's like to try to transfer into a chair and try to get through some of the daily activity that the boys do gain awareness to try to help them on this. But I know it bothers my younger son when little kids they're at his wheelchair, they don't see a wheelchair every day. So as a teenager, that's something that can be sensitive to. I mean, they're kids. We all were kids. We all as kids. Kids tend to stare when they see a wheelchair. And I don't mind. I mean, I kind of find it's funny. Little kids. They're little. Come on. I feel like you shouldn't get offended by little kids. They're curious. I mean, I don't get offended by little kids. I think it's funny. I mean, it's funny something because they instead of staring, they cry. I don't know. They're scared of the wheelchair or what it is, but they're curious. We were all kids. We were all curious once. So I think we need to know ahead of time that some people just ain't going to adjust for us. Yeah, not everyone's gonna understand your life, and stuff. We should be prepared with our bag of tools to see what else we can do when the headache hits because there's been loss, because there's been sadness. Important to really contemplate how do you still create an interesting life when parts of that life don't function when they are no longer what what work. I mean, like you should when you have muscular dystrophy, you should be always ready to adjust. Your life ain't gonna be the same every day. It's gonna be, gonna get harder and harder. But adjusting. Look at it this way. This is how I look at it. It's like I like sports. Football, basketball. A team tends to play a certain style of basketball or football. But if things are not going as planned, their strategy is not working anymore. What do? You adjust. I see the same thing in life. When something's not working, what do? You change it I mean, you don't have to change it, or sometimes you have to adjust it, tweak it a little bit and stuff, and see what works, and stuff. But yeah, I thought it was a great video to do, and stuff. But I'll be making that video that I was mentioning about my cousin and stuff, how we both are moving in different directions since we were maybe born. We always been moving in different directions, same age but different directions. But I feel like we still get along. Despite we both moving in different directions in life and stuff. But you know, I'm gonna brainstorm some more videos and brainstorm that video that I talked about, and I should have it uploaded by next week. Yeah, sometime next week. So stay tuned for that video. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Until next time.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride.